Due to the vast area of infection SCP-610 covers, containment is impossible. Isolation of the area has proved far more effective, and permission has been granted by the Russian government to establish a perimeter to keep people out of these areas under the guise of military operations. Should any organism displaying traits consistent with SCP-610 be sighted near this perimeter, the established protocol requires it to be engaged at range with firearms until immobile, then dispatched using fire from as far a distance as possible. Any living thing coming in physical contact with an organism infected with SCP-610 is considered expendable and is to be immediately dispatched using fire. Any persons coming within 3 meters of SCP-610 infected life are to be immediately withdrawn from the area, isolated from their team, and subjected to remote medical examination to determine if infection has occurred. Appropriate actions will be taken once that determination has been made. At present, the known infection vectors where SCP-610 spread seem to be focused on physical contact. Drone movements within heavily infected areas have returned air samples containing minute particulate, which, when exposed to organic compounds, will result in SCP-610 spread. These particular tests show a rapid rate of growth, which requires incineration of the testing environment no less than 24 hours after initial exposure. Even a 2-hour mishap risks a compromised facility. Containment protocol remains at a scorched earth policy. Initial reports of SCP-610 came directly from the Russian government. These reports consisted primarily of disappearances of farmers in the region, and were not considered until the local police, regional police, and finally a government agent all failed to report in within a 72-hour period. A small military contingent was dispatched to the area and quickly withdrew. Following this, the Foundation was contacted to investigate. The area SCP-610 affects is close to Lake Baikal in southern Siberia. SCP-610 is a contagious skin disease with symptoms including rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity. Within 3 hours, the disease will cause blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue to form on the chest and arms, spreading to the legs and back within the next hour, and consuming the victim completely within 5 hours. Exposure to high temperatures vastly increases the time for the contagion to spread, and complete infections have been recorded occurring in as little as 5 minutes. After the completion of the infection, the victim's life functions will cease for approximately 3 minutes, after which time they will restart. The scar tissue on the victims will start to move of its own accord and grow at an accelerated rate. Normal human features begin to disappear at this point. The path of mutation appears to be largely random. Subjects observed in this stage of infection have been recorded as growing multiple arms or legs. The head may become misshapen, and it will elongate or widen out. Parts of the subject may split open, from which additional branches of flesh will grow. The duration of this stage of infection is unknown. In some cases, an infected individual will cease moving, rooting itself to the spot. The fleshy growths on the victim will then begin to spread across all surrounding objects, consuming them. Observation of life infected by SCP-610 by staff is impossible. Those infected with the disease immediately seek out aid, as a natural human impulse, resulting in unintended infections. Those infected past the scar tissue phase actively and aggressively attempt to infect anyone in the area.